a high performance mindset and prosperity coach with Eliminate Impossible. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Nina Fountain. She's the executive stylist with Style Gorgeous. So, hello, Nina. How are you doing today?
Oh, really well. Thank you. It's great to see you. After having discovered that I'm in 22 degrees Celsius while you're in 22 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm feeling great.
Yes, you are definitely on the better end of that. So, I
Mm.
am very jealous because I do not handle cold well. So, ready to move to a warmer climate. Actually, we had considered New Zealand.
Oh,
I was
wow.
really thinking about it for a while there, but things changed and now we're still here in the States, but still on my radar. It's a
Another
beautiful
time.
place. Yes, absolutely. Well, I am so excited to have this conversation with you today, and I would love if you could start by just sharing a little bit of your story, how you got into this, because I know some of your background, but I don't think everybody does. So, just where
Yeah.
you came from and what led you into this field.
Yeah. So, long story short, this was my fourth profession, I guess. So previously I was in health sciences. I've got a communication science degree and applied science degree with an honors component. And then I moved from there, um, working on hospital wards and rehab clinics. I then moved into management leadership in the public service. I did that for 5 years. And then I started as an entrepreneur in management consulting in about 2013. And what I loved about that was I was self-employed and I was in my own business.
Yes.
And I've been in business ever since.
Hmm.
And then in that role, while I was in this management consulting role, I was asked by someone in my circle whether I could give a talk on how to have fabulous style. And it came completely out of the blue. I wasn't expecting to ever, be asked that. And
Hmm.
at the same time, I had done a lot of thinking and working out my own style, and
Okay.
I have quite an artistic eye. So it was really interesting that it got noticed. And then I did this talk, loved it. People had a fantastic experience, and I wanted to do more of that. And so
Hmm.
then, being in business, I had the flexibility to set up in business, and that's what happened. 2017, I started Style Gorgeous and decided to help women who were in the same journey in life as myself, looking to style to be a source of joy and a source of well-being,
Mm.
as well as a business tool, a way that people understand us and a way for us to see ourselves. So now I work with women who really want to get that visual language dialed in, and it's
Hmm.
the messages they're sending to their teams, their staff, their clients, as well as themselves.
I love that. So, do you feel like you've always kind of had a knack for style? Like, even when you were younger, do you think that
Do
you had
you
a sense for it and you've really paid attention to it and
Do you
whatever
know, I
different
wish I could
trends?
say I absolutely love that question. I really love this question. Because where I've ended up is I coach people on
Mhm.
how to get there. And they say that the best coaches are not the people who are naturally good at it, but they're the ones who worked it out and can actually teach you the steps
Yeah.
so you can get there yourself. And
Mhm.
that's, to be honest, how it was for me. I found my body shape difficult to dress. I wasn't someone who could just put clothes on and look fantastic. And I also found that people misunderstood me because I was wearing clothes that were sending a message about myself that I wasn't aligned with. That wasn't who I
Mm.
am. I had a friend,
Mhm.
I had a friend once say, "Oh, I'm going to make you a bag," and she was into crafts, and she's like, "I know what you like. I definitely know what you like." And I tried to, perhaps influence her a little bit. She's like, "No, no, no, I know what you like."
Oh
And she
gosh.
made me sad. And I did not like it at all, but it was a moment for me to think, what is it about my style that she thinks that I would like that when
Right.
when I like I like the opposite of that, and
Mm.
I think I'm not that person, I'm someone else completely. So it was one of those other moments where where I thought I'm actually really wanting to be aligned with this and to be dialed in, and I want to feel powerful in it. I don't want to feel like I'm
Yeah.
being misunderstood and like it's not quite working all the time. I literally want to be able to go to my wardrobe, my closet every day, see
Hmm.
fantastic options in there, be able to just wear what I like and feel excited about what's in there. And yeah, that was really the standard I set for myself that precipitated a lot of learning and study and I think I probably got my 10,000 hours studying the style I saw around me on streets where I was living in London, traveling in Paris and France and Italy,
Oh,
and
yeah.
just
Oh,
seeing
yes.
these outfits and thinking, why does that work? Why does that work? And yeah, that's getting me to that point
That's
where it worked
amazing.
out.
What great places to
Yeah,
just learn more and to see some really interesting, fabulous styles. That is
New
so
York was
cool.
in there as well. And
Okay.
yes, so yeah, just a few, really great overseas experiences. But literally, I think every day I would look at the outfits walking past me and think, why does that
Mhm.
work? So yeah,
That's
it's
awesome. It's
mm,
like you were tuned into it and analyzing it, maybe
yeah,
without even realizing it. I mean, I do the
yes,
same thing with, so we have a similar background. I have a background in physical therapy, and still I can't go to the gym, I can't go anywhere without analyzing how people are moving and what they're doing. Like, even though I'm not
yes,
practicing it now, it's just there. It's, you
yeah.
can't turn it off.
It's almost an instinct, almost a reflex. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
It's a tricky one
amazing.
when people say, are you constantly analyzing people's outfits? I sometimes get that question.
Yeah.
And it's yes and no, because
Yeah.
it's like, yes, you're aware, but no, you're not in client service mode. So you're not really thinking, how would I change this for this person? Or, what would
Hmm.
I do? What conversation would we have? But you are aware to some degree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm,
So I am really excited to hear a little bit more about your methods. Like, how do you go
yeah,
about assessing somebody's current style, and what
love
gives
it.
you insight into where they should go with it and what would be the best fit for them?
Yeah, I love it. So, what I'm doing is completely different to the extreme makeover experience that a lot of people have,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately been exposed to, where a kind of stylist comes in and rips apart all your choices in your closet
Yes.
and says, no way. Yeah, because it really is about empowerment. It's really about
Mm-hmm.
how can she step into clothes that feel so aligned with who she is that she
Mm-hmm.
feels like they're the second skin of her superhero costume, like she would just go, this is so me. I
Oh,
feel so
great.
empowered. Like this is
Yeah.
so cool. And to do that, we start actually with what's she doing in her life? What are her situations that we're styling her for? What's her purpose there? What's she bringing?
Mm-hmm.
And what's her personality? And I have a style persona system that links the four core traits in our personality that are really connected to style, with a set of 12 different style personas. So that helps. But then there's also this individual edge to it
Mm-hmm.
around, where style is linked to personality, but style is also our experiences, our taste, our background.
Mm-hmm.
We had a teacher that we didn't like who wore stripes, and so now we don't want to wear stripes,
Yeah.
or so there's these kinds of things as well. And if we get down to style keywords,
Mm-hmm.
that is a much more individualized level of style. That becomes like your mantra. So my when I shop and style myself, I am always thinking, is this outfit pretty, street smart, and does it have a European twist? And so those are like my
Oh.
keywords.
Uh-huh.
And we arrive at that through a coaching conversation,
Okay.
where often people are, it should feel really aligned. That's the goal. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not me coming along and saying, I think your style is this. It's a coaching conversation where we actually work.
Mm-hmm.
I use the process to bring that out and to clarify it from a whole range of different influences.
Yeah.
Um, and then we get to all the physical stuff that we know. Body shape and color are really
Mm-hmm.
key. And and then it's my job to translate those style essentials into what does her style need to do for her in life.
Mhm.
So it could be everything from being in front of the media to, you know, to turning up it for brunch on the weekend. But it's what do we, how do I take that essence of her style, her
Yeah.
body shape strategy, her colors, and translate that into looks that are going to feel fantastic in those settings.
Mhm.
And, so then she feels aligned, she feels strong, she feels powerful, and that's her most powerful style. It's not necessarily the power suits that are actually powerful because they don't always
Yeah.
align. Like some
Yeah.
people
That makes
are
sense.
not into that. So
Right, right. I
yeah.
know. I actually was just trying on a business suit that I have from I won't say how long ago, and it still fits and it's fine. And it's like, okay, I like it, but it's also like I feel kind of weird in it. Like it's just not something that I
Yeah,
would normally wear. But um
perfect example. Like how
yeah.
how powerful can you feel when you feel weird? You don't
Right.
feel powerful.
It's
You
like
feel
who would wear like
uncomfortable. You
me?
feel conscious. You feel like, oh, but there's something not quite right here. And
Yeah.
we've got to totally get rid of that. We've got enough to think about, where
Mhm.
we are living our best life only once, right? So let's just,
Yeah.
yeah, not be
So
jumped down.
two things about that. So first, I just have to say, as far as color, like for you
Yes.
today, your eyes are brought out so much
Oh,
by your
thank
shirt.
you.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful. It's like a perfect match. It's beautiful.
thank
But
you.
anyway, I was thinking about that. So if somebody's trying to transition and change the way that they're dressing from whatever they've been doing and they're just comfortable with, whether it really
Yes.
resonates with them or not, like how do you
Yes.
get them over that hump if it's something that's not necessarily conforming to what everybody else is wearing, and they might feel a little bit uneasy at first about,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
changing into that style. Have you seen that? And
for
what is the
sure.
best way to help?
Yeah, I think for a lot of women, it's actually really, quite normal, I would say, to take a journey with it. And that's
Mm,
what I say to people is to give themselves permission for this to be, for this knowledge to be powerful and for it not to be a cage that constricts you, but for it to be something that you dip into as you're ready, as
mm,
you're ready and as you want to. And that could mean just having one outfit that is in your ideal colors and just walking out and seeing how that feels. And
mm-hmm.
and you might even notice it, people notice it themselves. Like I feel color quite intensely. So that was, for me, the color journey was actually the first journey I really wanted to take. Where I literally realized that there were certain colors I was taking it off because I felt a bit queasy in the stomach. Like I was like, wow,
Wow,
I'm really
that is,
affected by color. But I didn't
yeah,
actually consciously realize that until later on. I was like, that's why I took those off. I always took it off. I always took that color off after 2 hours. I just couldn't wear it.
that is so
And
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was this is in the 90s when
Okay.
salmon pink was really
Oh,
big.
okay. And that
And
just didn't sit well for you.
it didn't sit well. I had it in earrings, I had it in a pair of shorts, and I had it in a t-shirt because I was, a teenager in the 90s and
Yeah.
I was into, like t-shirts was a thing. And yeah, and I just would never be able to wear that for longer than a couple of hours before going, no, it's not right.
Hmm.
Something's not right. And so even just the feeling of being in your colors can be amazing. And one outfit can be enough to
Yeah.
to then get that feeling. And then also to notice you might see other people just kind of complimenting or being pleased with, like you kind of sometimes get a sense like, yeah, this really lands, this really works. And then
Hmm.
sometimes it's literally a compliment, like, wow, your eyes look incredible, or have you
Yeah.
lost weight, or have you done something to your hair? Because people are trying to work out what is it that's
What is
different.
it?
You look great. I just can't work out what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
that's
and even,
awesome.
same thing for body shape, same thing for aligning with your style persona. It's just those little steps. And I think this is the beauty of what Atomic Habits, James Clear, what
Oh,
he's
yeah.
just looking
Hmm.
for the book, what he's given us in that is if we choose a direction, do
Hmm.
those little things that continue to set us up in that direction, continue to go in that direction. And it's
Yeah.
those micro habits that make the big change at the
Yeah.
end of the day. So yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. So what is kind of a time frame generally? Is it different for every
Yes.
person? Do you have kind of a set standard that you usually do, or how long do you see that it takes for?
Yeah, yeah. So the typical engagement is between 4 weeks and 8 weeks.
Okay.
And that's often when people want styling or they want coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do take clients on a kind of invitation basis for then doing a longer, we work together for a year and they sign on for
Okay.
a year commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, but they do have a package as well at the moment that is called the Year of Presence, and that's straight into the styling, and we do that for a year. So it's a that's a gorgeous package where people literally get to experience every occasion, feeling fantastic. So we cover every look for every moment, boardroom to brunch, media to mums, please, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we just make sure everything's done. But the typical experience is usually between 4 and 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when someone's perhaps they're looking to, they're going to start a new role, they want to build out a set of looks for that new role. They're moving into the
Mm-hmm.
C-suite, or they're doing a speaking tour, speaking arrangements. They know they're going to be speaking more, or they know they're going to be on social media a lot more, and they're wanting to put their best foot forward in each of those settings. Not necessarily looking formal or smart, or
Yeah.
looking like only one version of themselves, but they want that alignment, they want that sense of power.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
beautiful. So who is kind of like the perfect client for you? Like
yeah.
if you
She
got to choose.
Yeah, so I think someone who is they're aware that their style is sending a message to
Mm-hmm.
others, and they want to feel fantastic, and
Mm-hmm.
often they have got to that point where they look at what's in their wardrobe and they're like, that was me 5 years ago or 10 years
Yeah.
ago. It
Yeah.
just doesn't feel like me anymore. I've moved on, either because their role has changed, they've got more visibility, or sometimes they've lost weight, or they've had a mindset shift, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they're now thinking bigger. They're more abundant and prosperous in their thinking. And so, yeah, so those are the ideal people. They can be anywhere in US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand tend to be, popular countries because of my time zone.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but they can literally be anywhere, and they're
Yeah.
just they need to have a bit of money to spend on clothes. But it's
Mm-hmm.
not it's not usually $5,000 or $10,000. It's if they've got a thousand or two or three,
Okay.
that's
A good
great.
place to
And
start.
exactly, yeah, we
Okay.
can do a lot with that. And sometimes starting small is
Mm-hmm.
is just what they need as well. So
Yeah. With that one
yeah,
outfit and then moving up from there.
absolutely right. So, and I'm thinking of doing a whole year experience, a year coaching experience where people
Mm-hmm.
really do get to take it nice and slow.
Yeah.
Um, and currently, the year experience is either that year of presence, or it's a intermittent styling shops. I call it style travel, and it's a styling experience. But I'm thinking of doing a year of coaching experience. Would just be,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, really interesting to see if that meets a need for people. Because in coaching, we can also talk about some of the stuff that you work with, mindset around,
Yeah.
feeling that sense of who am I, and who am I in this opportunity,
Absolutely.
and yeah, the
Yep.
self-image piece.
I was just going to say that's something we've talked about before is your self-image
Yeah,
and how you can never outperform your self-image. So really trying to get aligned with who you are, who you want to be is so important. And we've talked about that how you're dressing really can
yeah,
affect that, right? If you
yeah,
want to be, you have this huge goal, but you're wearing your yoga pants all the time, like you're probably not
yeah,
going to feel the part. And so, one of the
totally.
fastest ways, yeah, is to start, changing how you dress. But
It
so, what has
really
been,
is.
yeah, what's been kind of the biggest? inspirational, transformative story that you've seen in your
In
work so
my
far?
clients or in, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna come back to,
Oh,
I
go.
think
Yeah,
you
yeah, go.
really inspired me with that point from,
Yeah.
I think it was Bob
It
Proctor's
was
quote.
from Bob Proctor. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which I know you just touched on, but he says that the fastest way to change your self-image is to change how you dress.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've seen, I think actually, to answer now your question, what's really inspired me and opened my eyes and been really insightful has been just how many women have walked the journey of success
Mm-hmm.
and, have made an impact, they're now visible, they've got a tribe of people following them, whether they're staff or in business.
Mm-hmm.
And they will often say to me, because I'm getting to ask these questions as a result of writing the book,
Yeah.
they will often say, style is more important than people realize. This is
Mm.
actually more important. And they are kind of telling me like a friend to friend, like, why don't more people know this? Like, it's kind of,
Mm-hmm.
we need to get this message out there, and that's why they're interested, I think, to speak about it, because they've discovered for themselves that when they step into that role,
Mm-hmm.
it's really step into that those clothes, they also step into the role. And I think, yeah, one of the ladies I interviewed recently was talking about that sense of presence,
Mm-hmm.
that she realized she was giving a she was going through a hard time in her business, came to the point, realized that she's going to need to shut down the business. It was a,
Mm.
multi-million dollar business, had many people working for her. Um,
Wow.
and she made the announcement, and then one of her team members came in and said, here's a card. We actually bought this card for you yesterday. Um, and the card said, we know that you've been going through a hard time lately, and we just want you to know that we're there for you. And she hadn't told a soul, but they had noticed that she was going through a hard time. And she
Wow.
said that's when she realized just how much they were aware of her and tuned into her so much more
Mm.
closely than she was aware
Mm-hmm.
that they were. So,
Yeah,
lots of
yeah.
lots of aware words in that sentence, but there was so much more um, that her presence was being felt and was
Right,
actually
right.
really being noticed by them.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that really taught her what presence means, is that people are watching, and they're watching the small things, and they're really paying attention to the signals,
Mm-hmm.
to understand where you're at as a leader, or as a woman with influence. So I think, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
quite inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so interesting. And I just think about too, like I was saying with the yoga pants, right? I mean, I have several days where I might go to the gym in the morning and then I just never have time to change. So I'm just wearing like
Yeah.
gym clothes all day, but I
Yeah.
never feel as productive, as alert, as
Yes.
just awake as when you get yourself ready for the day. It's a
Yes.
very different feeling
It's a
completely.
very Yes. So this
Yeah,
is
it's pretty.
what you're describing there. So I'll let you finish your sentence, but
Oh,
there's a
go
thing
ahead.
you've got to say about that. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it just feels completely different, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And I just never feel ready for the day when I have to do that. And unfortunately it happens more often than I like to
Then you would
admit.
like,
But
so this is worth looking up. And the phrase is enclothed cognition. And in about
I gotta write that down.
2012,
Uh-huh.
they started doing research on what are the effects of the clothes that we wear on
Mm-hmm.
our cognitive processes, as in our tendency and readiness, and our fluidness with creative ideas, or versus our productivity and our focus on
Mm-hmm.
that kind of, get stuff done, push out widgets type of thinking. And people were noticeably, it was all research based, it's statistical differences between the groups. People were noticeably different in their ability to be creative versus their ability to be productive based on what they were wearing.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going
it's
to look that
really
up. So,
interesting.
enclothed cognition. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
So,
think that makes complete sense. And so many
yeah,
people probably feel it on a subconscious level and don't even know
yes,
that they are, or that that is the reason that maybe they're not as productive that day, or they're just not feeling
totally.
aligned with what they're trying to do, or any of
Yeah.
that. So that's pretty amazing.
It's really, so I think for people who are looking to be productive, looking for high
Yeah.
performance, this is to and talking to people I know who have turned that around and who do deliberately dress for the style of thinking that they're doing
Mm-hmm.
at that point in time, it's a non-negotiable. It's
Yeah.
just, absolutely a key tool in your day for bringing all of your neurological system into alignment with what you're doing at that point in time.
Yeah. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. That just made me think again. See, Bob is just a great example for you for this because he also um, had made the decision he was always going to be the best dressed person in the room. And
Oh,
people
yes,
would
that's
joke
right.
that he would sleep in his suit because he was never seen without a suit
Without
on
it.
like the time.
He wore a
And
suit at the beach.
I would love to. I'm curious now if that
Did
ever.
he? Yeah, question.
I don't know.
I
But he
know.
was ready. He was prepared and ready every day. He was always, yeah.
But that's
It
what
just
this
is.
is what I mean. We live in this world where we're having very quick interactions, and
Mm-hmm.
people are understanding us very quickly. First impressions are alive and well. They've been around for a very long time, and people make
Mm-hmm.
11 judgments about you within 7 seconds. Um, and that, because of confirmation bias, tends to confirm the trajectory of the relationship. So people tend to
Mm,
then align with the way that they first assessed you. So when you think, does this person, if we're missing opportunities to look the part and to instantly communicate, like this moment means something, you mean something, I respect what this is about, then
mm-hmm.
we're leaving food on the table basically. We're at least doing that, and in some cases missing opportunities that we're probably not aware of. And yeah, I get to hear the stories. So there's more stories
Oh
I could
gosh, I
tell you
bet.
about this, but yeah,
I
it's
know. I
really
think we could
really
go on
cool.
forever. And I think that's so true too. And it just gives you a sense. I know one of our professors would always say that your posture reflects your attitude towards life, but I also think
Mm,
that like not just like how you're presenting yourself in general, so not just your
mm,
posture, but like completely how
yeah.
you're presenting yourself. And so are you taking whatever it is that you're doing seriously? Like if you're meeting with
Yes.
somebody, if you're putting yourself on social media, are you trying to, look like what you want to
Yeah.
portray, or are you just getting it done and you've got the,
Yeah.
messy bun and like all the things going
Yeah.
on? Like,
Yeah.
so I think oh my gosh, it aligns
Yeah.
so much. And I feel like I could talk to you forever about this, but we probably should start wrapping up. So where can everybody find you? Can they take
Yeah.
maybe an assessment that you were talking about and discover
Mm,
where they land in the four
yes.
thing, or what do you have for them?
Beautiful. So they can take the style persona quiz really easily, and
Okay,
because they're coming across it through you, they can access that as a gift. So I will give you the coupon code for the show notes so that people can
perfect.
access that as a gift. And that helps. That's really the first step in that credible style that feels aligned and feels like I just want to step into this and I feel fantastic. And then, yeah, but otherwise they can find me at stylegorgeous.com. If
Awesome.
the quiz is there as well, so stylegorgeous.com/quiz. And yeah, that is really the best place to start.
Okay.
I am on LinkedIn. I have two profiles because I've still got the management consulting business. So it's just
Oh,
about
okay.
find me as a stylist, and you'll know that know that it's my styling profile. But yeah, that would be the best way to reach me for styling content.
Okay. I love it. So do you have any
Mm.
final thoughts? Any nuggets you want to share before?
Yeah, I think it's to me, it comes back to this power of being aligned with ourselves, that performance piece, that high performance piece, um, is so much about having the energy
Mhm.
to be that person in your next meeting, your next day, your next week, your next month. And what I've noticed is that when people are out of alignment with themselves, they quickly feel it in their energy, in the level of energy they have to bring
Ah,
to things.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think this is what a lot of coaches, executive coaches are a lot about peeling back what's not you and what's draining your energy. And if you're in alignment with your clothes, if your clothes are in alignment with you, because it really should be that way around, but you've
Mhm.
created that, then yeah, then it's very liberating in terms of energizing. And we all want that feeling of really being able to turn up to your workstation or wherever you do work and just feel like I'm here, I'm ready, this is me, and
Yeah.
I'm good to go. So
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you so much for
such a
joining me
pleasure.
today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jenny.
And I
Amazing.
feel like we're going to have to do this again because I think there's even more that we could talk
Yeah,
about. So probably in
yeah,
a
let's
few
do it.
months we'll have to do it again.
That sounds great. I love it.
All right,
Thank you for having me.
awesome.